In his book, Jonathan Haidt talks about the widespread adoption of social media on smartphones and the rise that has been steadily going since 2012. He notes a few key hazards such as cyberbullying and sleep and attention problems. As college students, we tend to use social media as an outlet for relaxation, but it also serves as a bit of a distraction and leads to a lot of procrastination. In social psychology, this relates to the idea of a weak relational community. When you are getting your entire community online, it makes it hard for you to develop those communities in person. And now over to Kara.
The concept I chose is self-efficacy and how that relates to Jonathan Haidt's safetyism. In the book, it talks about how safetyism is constantly when someone worries about whether they're going to be harmed in a situation, either physically, emotionally, psychologically. And this affects your self-efficacy in a negative way because you're constantly worried about if you're going to be harmed in any situation, where you're not going to be able to face challenges and face adversity without having that mindset and lowering your self-efficacy because you feel like you can't do it anymore because you think you're going to be harmed. And in the end, to be able to have that higher self-efficacy, you need to be able to overcome challenges and go through adversity. So in the end, your self-efficacy is being lowered because you are so worried about being safe. Now on to Chloe.
Hi, the concept that I chose from the book was social influence. Many people and teenagers, let's say, are on social media and they can see big celebrities with all these filters, and it can make them feel that they need to meet those standards and are more likely to follow what they're seeing online, even though it can't really be proven to be true information that's getting put out there, and which can lead them to making very unhealthy decisions for themselves, like overworking out or under eating, which contributes to many stressful factors in their lives. Now over to Abby.
In The Anxious Generation, Haidt talks a lot about social media and the impact that it has on our generation growing up. Since our generation grew up so much with being on the internet all of the time, we've become desensitized to violent crime and other harmful and very sad things in the world, since we've been exposed to it every day in social media and the news all of the time. Desensitization has also separated our generation as a whole. We struggle to connect to one another since we are so used to seeing bad things happening all around us. Now on to Keonjay.
Hi. The concept that I chose was self-esteem. Self-esteem can be generally how one might feel about themselves or the overall sense of self-worth. It can also be an internal gauge on how one might value themselves or the abilities that they have. Jonathan Haidt talks about self-esteem in his book, where he says it can be beneficial but also detrimental depending on how it's nurtured and maintained. Self-esteem can be really significant in people's life. When someone has good self-esteem, they're more adequate to do their jobs because they're in a better mood, you could say, whether that's school, sports, or work. Whereas if somebody has low self-esteem, they don't feel up to par or are able to do their jobs because they aren't confident enough in their abilities.